Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Wednesday, November 9th, 2011. There's a lot to cover. Let's get right into these charts. You're going to see the S&P 500 E-mini futures are trading lower by 29.5 points at the moment. They were actually a little bit lower earlier, and we'll see if they go and retest those lows, even maybe break them this morning. The news out of Europe is not good, and it looks like Italian bond yields are surging over 7.3% on the 10-year note. That is a big spike in yields, and that is taking the markets lower. Really should be no surprise, even though the market's been euphoric over the past week, rallying up each and every day when the dollar pulls back. Bond yields on the 10-year note in Italy have just been rising each and every day. So really shouldn't be much of a surprise to anybody. We'll see if they continue to climb. There's estimates now talking about 7.8% and then ultimately 10% if you look at the chart. So that is a fair possibility, and we'll just sit tight. But once again, Italy looks like it's blowing up in front of our eyes, and we'll see how it goes from there. First it was Greece, now it's Italy. What happens when Spain and France come on board and they join the bond yield trade as well? France is already starting to creep higher, so traders must watch that. Nothing good out of Europe. This looks like a failed science project to me that just keeps getting put back together again. Once Humpty Dumpty falls off the wall, just leave it alone and restart. Really, that's what they should do. But once again, all these central bankers and these governments, all they know is to just inflate. And we'll see where it goes. Not a pretty picture over there today. Also looks like last night there was some data coming out of China where the CPI was up 5.5%. That was in line with expectations. Don't make much out of it. Who could really believe that stuff anyway? We'll just watch the market, and that will tell us everything that we need to know. So nonetheless, we're starting the day a little bit lower. Let's take a look at a few different things out there. One, we're going to look at USO oil today is selling off pretty sharply. USO closed at 37.43. Today trading at 36.80. So that's a pretty good decline in crude. If you're looking at spot crude, down about $1.27 today. Gold is only down 2 points. Had a good sell-off yesterday after the bell. After the spot crude closed at 130, but gold sold off in the after hours in electronic trading. Today it's only down $2, so not really that big a deal for gold. It is probably going up in terms of the euro, though, versus the euro. So, again, that's probably what's holding gold up this morning. All the European markets are down about 2% or so. And then you have the Asian markets last night, which actually rallied up really across the board with the exception, I believe, of the only index that was lower last night was India, and that was down about 1.18%. So you have to watch that. Indian ADRs should be weak today. So all traders should watch that. Indian ADRs should be weak today. Let's take a look at the GLD. You'll see that sitting right at 174.69. Well off the lows. This morning was trading down to around 173. So well off the lows. And that is moving up in terms of euro right now. And you'll have to watch that. Take a look at the euro. Here's the FXE. See, this thing is trading down to 135.66, so really plummeting. Again, whenever the S&P 500 or the euro is down, that means one thing, that the dollar is higher. Let's take a look at the dollar. Let's just pull up the dollar chart here. And you'll see the dollar really having a massive move today. That's a big move for the dollar. If you look at the US dollar index futures, it's up $1.05. 10 cents in the dollar is a big move. If you get a dollar move, that's a humongous move. So the dollar really soaring today, and as long as the dollar moves higher, this market will move lower. It's just really that cut and dry. Okay, let's get into some stocks that I'm looking at here. Adobe is first. Stock is getting hit this morning. This stock has been on a tremendous move higher. So really trading down to the 27.60 level this morning is really not that bad because it has been a strong name. Watch for support around $26 and then ultimately around 25 and a quarter. I would not be getting in front of Adobe in this market right now. On the long side, I would watch this thing trade down to around the 25 level. You could start to get interested there, maybe $25.25, right around that level. Apple, leading stock, has been holding up well. Just give me a second here. This should pull up in just a second. Not sure why my Apple chart is not coming up. There it is. Okay, Apple trading down this morning to around the below the 400 level to around 398. I think Apple is in a very, very tender position here. If it breaks below 395, this thing's going to 380. So be careful with Apple today. But at the moment, starting out lower. So Apple could see lower prices today, especially in this kind of market, if the market starts to sell off further, and I have a suspicion that it very well could. Let's take a look at SODA. SodaStream. This stock is holding up very, very well today. Again, I do not expect this thing to go much higher than the 38.50, maybe 39 level. I really have a hard time seeing it trade much higher than that, but it is having a nice day, and you want to respect the stock at the moment, especially in a strong, weak market. It's up, but I really have a hard time seeing it get above $38.50 to $39. This stock, PANL, I've been getting a lot of emails about it. Problem is that it's generally a light volume name. It's holding up pretty well again today, trading around 52. It's still okay. Technically, it's in a strong position. I really don't see any problems with it. Just be careful here with this market getting in front of this thing today, because we have a pretty sharp decline in the markets. But technically, this is okay, PANL. I really don't see any problems with it at all, and it's up a little bit ahead of the open. Be careful in this type of market. Let's take a look at ORVI. This stock is getting hit, selling off sharply. Looks like yesterday the stock closed at $46.02. Today trading at 35 bucks. It is below the recent support, which is around I believe 41 bucks or so. I really think that this stock has to hold the 35 level. If it breaks here, this thing could easily go down to 30, maybe even 27 bucks. So be careful with this ROVI. 35 is last line of support. After this, it's really, headed much, much lower. But 35 does look to be some support. After this, though, it's probably going to go to 30 and maybe even 27. So be careful on that ROVI. STEC, another name. I saw that was trading lower. This is a pretty sharp haircut right here on this stock. Traders should be a little bit cautious with this one. Does look like it has some support around the $8.30 level. There's also a little bit of support around 9 bucks. Either way, down market, be careful. Let's take a look at Macy's. Macy's is also trading a little bit lower here. Macy's now trading at $30.78. What I would think about Macy's here, just looking at the charts, a break of 29, this thing's probably going down to 27 bucks. So be careful there, but does have a fair amount of support at 29. But a break of 29 on a closing basis, this thing could go lower. So be a little bit careful in a big down day. Futures are down 32 points, and you really want to be a little bit cautious in this kind of environment. So again, that's what I'm looking at. Those are the levels. Other than that, I don't see anything else really standing out to me. Obviously, all the copper names and the base metal, industrial metal stocks are down today. You can see stocks like BHP sharply lower. Let's take a look at FCX, Freeport Mac, sharply lower. I mean, you name it, they're down. Take a look at RIO, sharply lower. As long as that dollar remains strong, these stocks should come under pressure, and watch for lower prices as we go forward. Again, markets are down sharply today. Big problems out of Europe. I expect that to continue. Be a little bit careful in this environment. If you're short, just ride it out. Trail your stop and let it go. If you're long, you have to make a decision there. But these markets ultimately look pretty weak today. Okay, everybody, with that said, have a great trading day. We'll see you on the microphone, at those of you that belong to the chat room, at 9:30. The rest of you have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care now.